This is on YouTube. I'll be saving it on my channel.
Hey, before we get into this, I need you to do something right now. Bookmark this channel, rumble.com/user/dualped. Write it down. Put it somewhere you will not lose it, because on
Rumble, my channel Rumble is Turbo World, and this is OG Turbo World, where I'll have this one out on YouTube.
March 10th, 2026, YouTube deleted our main channel. 20 years, 56,000 subscribers, 1,100 videos, gone overnight. They cited spam, deceptive practices, and scams, not one of which we have ever done, not one. We do not sell anything we never have.
Bro, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, I just lost my channel of 14 years with 2,300 videos on it. And I think I've had over 40 some odd strikes, but never 3 at a time. And they got me on a live of all things this time. Rumble, I was on a live on Rumble, and it switched on halfway through the live and started broadcasting it to YouTube when I was playing some Accu Radio. So we've been on a 2 business day appeal going on almost the 3rd month now. So, man, I feel you, bro. They cheat. They cheat bad. And if it's any way that they can take everything out from under you, they'll do it. And even if there isn't a way, they'll find a way. They took one of my videos from UMG. UMG did this to me. They took the appeal process. You know, they count down from 30 days to 0. UMG started counting from 30 to 31 and counted up to 220. I had to take the video down and put it back up, won the appeal, but not before they stole the earnings for a viral video for 220 days. It's things like that that make me as a mechanic want to put a mechanics lien on the entire platform for not paying me for mechanics work, because that's the exact definition of what happened. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Every single video opens with a full disclaimer stating it is parody, satire, and AI recreation. And here is the part that should make every single one of you furious. Our backup channel with the exact same identical content was left completely untouched. Same videos, same style, same everything, untouched. Today is May 5, 2026. 56 days since that deletion. We filed our appeal the same day. Team YouTube reached out on X and told us they would pass it along for further review. And since that message, not a single word. Total silence. So bookmark the channel on your screen at the top middle right now, because we could get nuked again overnight with 0 warning and 0 explanation. Now let's get into this, because what I'm about to lay out for you is the kind of thing that makes your stomach drop and your blood boil at the exact same time. All right, folks, Vinny Gambini here, and I am going to walk you through something today that is so deeply, thoroughly, disgustingly damning that I had to sit down twice just reading the research notes before I could even open my mouth about it. We're talking about the Epstein files, but not the part the mainstream media glossed over in about 30 seconds before going back to whatever celebrity nonsense they were covering. No. We're talking about what was buried in those files, the part they did not want you to find, the part that connects Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted, documented, disgusting predator, directly to Bill Gates, JP Morgan, and a financial architecture built years in advance to turn pandemics into a profit machine. Let that sink in for 1 second. A profit machine. Your suffering, your job loss, your grandmother dying alone in a hospital room where nobody could hold her hand. A profit machine. Let me walk you through this piece by piece, because the details matter, and I am not going to let a single one of them slide. August 2011, Jeffrey Epstein, already a convicted sex offender at this point, folks, already convicted, emails Mary Erdo, the CEO of JP Morgan's $2 trillion asset management division. $2 trillion. And what is this convicted predator emailing the head of one of the most powerful financial institutions on the planet about? He's outlining a Gates-linked donor-advised fund, and buried right in that email is the instruction, and I want you to hear this clearly. We should be ready with an offshore arm, especially for vaccines. Now you tell me, a normal person reads that email from a convicted sex offender, and what do? They flag compliance, they call legal, they maybe pick up the phone and call the FBI. What did Mary Erdo do? She asked for answers before the 31st, and she got them, same night, from a convicted predator. That's not a red flag, folks. That's a red parade with a marching band and a blimp flying overhead. But wait, it gets worse. Same month, same email chain. Epstein writes to Staley and Erdo, and here is the quiet part being said out loud. The tension is making money from a charitable org. Therefore, the money-making parts need to be arm's length. Arm's length. He literally wrote it down. The architect of this entire scheme, a man convicted of crimes against children, is sitting there explaining in plain English that the vehicle is designed to generate profit hidden behind the legal cover of charity. Sound familiar? Sound like every fake hospice, every fraudulent NGO, every so-called nonprofit that's been caught stealing hundreds of millions from disaster victims? Yeah, because it's the same playbook, different faces, same filthy game. Now here's where it gets truly chilling. May 2017, 3 years before the Rona ever showed up on anybody's radar, Boris Nikolic, Bill Gates' chief science and technology advisor, emails Epstein and Gates about donor-advised funds and refers to pandemic preparedness not as an emergency response, not as a humanitarian mission, but as, and I want you to hear this word, a standing investment vertical, like energy, like real estate, like tech stocks, a pandemic as an investment category, 3 years before 2020. And if you think investment vertical is just corporate jargon, let me give you the hard numbers they were throwing around behind closed doors. A Gates Foundation briefing document describes their Global Health Investment Fund as an impact investment vehicle. And what were they targeting? They were targeting 5 to 7% returns on drugs and vaccines, backed by a 60% principal guarantee. You hear that? A guaranteed 60% of their money back, aiming for 7% profit on global health crises. They aren't passing the hat to help the sick. They are structuring a mutual fund where the commodity is human disease. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Vinny, come on, maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe these guys were just being cautious, thinking ahead. Okay, let me throw something else at you then. January 2017, an iMessage thread pulled from Epstein's own phone. An associate is listing career options, and one of them stands out like a neon sign on a dark street. Join the Swiss reinsurance team. Develop health products. Help develop a parametric trigger. Now you might be asking, what the hell is a parametric trigger? I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a financial instrument, a specific, engineered financial instrument that automatically pays out when a pandemic is declared. Automatically. The second a pandemic gets declared by the right authority, money moves. Automatically. And 6 months after that iMessage was sent, the World Bank issued its very first pandemic catastrophe bonds, structured by Swiss Re, with exactly those triggers. And the Rona, the very virus that shut down the entire world, was a listed peril in those bonds. Folks, I have been around long enough to know the difference between a coincidence and a conspiracy. And I am telling you right now, this is not a coincidence. And then there's this. August 8th, 2013, 5 years after Epstein's conviction, an agreement letter addressed to William H. Gates states in writing, on paper, with a signature, that Gates specifically requested that Jeffrey Epstein personally serve as the representative of Boris Nikolic, his own chief science officer. Gates had access to every law firm, every financial advisor, every institution with a sterling reputation on this planet. He chose a registered convicted sex offender, and he put it in writing. Let me say that one more time so it really lands. He put it in writing. And it wasn't just Wall Street and Silicon Valley. They were infecting the international diplomacy circuit too. A 2015 Gates Foundation letter confirms they were coordinating pandemic preparedness with the International Peace Institute, led by a guy named Terje Rød Larsen. Now, who is Terje Rød Larsen? He's a documented Jeffrey Epstein dinner guest. Epstein was separately feeding Rød Larsen Gates' public pandemic messaging to push out to the international community. They had the banks, they had the reinsurers, they had the tech billionaires, and they had the international peace organizations. The entire ecosystem was wired and ready to go. Now tie it all together. You've got Epstein advising JP Morgan's most senior executives on how to pitch a Gates-anchored fund with explicit instructions to build offshore vaccine infrastructure. You've got pandemic classified as an investment vertical in 2017. You've got parametric triggers engineered to pay out the second a pandemic is declared. You've got pandemic simulation being used as a professional credential inside Epstein's own career placement network, feeding people directly into Gates' private office, into Swiss Re's pandemic reinsurance division, into Merck's vaccine team. And then 2020 happens. Filmmaker Mikey Willis, who produced the pandemic documentary series, says it wasn't supposed to happen in 2020. He believes, based on everything he and his team have researched, that it was pulled forward. Every attempt to stop Trump had failed. Russia failed, the impeachments failed, and so they pushed the trigger early. The plan wasn't fully in place yet, and that, Willis argues, is exactly why we have outliers, states like the Dakotas that didn't lock down, didn't comply, and ended up with better outcomes. Those outliers became the case study that blew the whole narrative apart, because if every state had been under centralized control, we would never have had a comparison. We would have been told the vaccine worked, the lockdowns worked, and we'd have no data to prove otherwise. The saving grace, if you can even call it that, is that they moved too fast. The infrastructure wasn't complete, the political capture wasn't total, and so the cracks showed. And when you look at all of this, the data, the evidence, the concrete emails, and you couple it with what they have done to Trump, they tried to smear him, debank him, bankrupt him, arrest him, and assassinate him. It gives you the true scope of the magnitude of what we are dealing with. I'm a constitutional centrist. I bleed red, white, and blue. But when I look at the Democratic establishment and the globalists pulling their strings, I don't see a political party. I see a terrorist organization that hates America.
Yep.
They want to see us fail. They want to take the pillars of this country and flip them 180 degrees into some demonic direction that has nothing to do with who we are. But make no mistake about what we're looking at here. This is not a fringe theory. This is documented. Emails, iMessages, agreement letters, financial instruments, career pipelines, all of it in the Epstein files, all of it pointing in the same direction. These people treated a global pandemic the way a hedge fund manager treats a commodity.
Yeah.
They built the architecture, they placed the people, they engineered the triggers, and when the moment was politically convenient, the button got pushed. Follow the money, folks. Always follow the money.
That's right.
My grandfather said it. Your grandfather probably said it too, because it has never once been wrong.
Yep.
All right, folks, that's what I got for you today, and I know it's a lot to process. Trust me, I had to walk around the block.
That's one of my channels right there, right? And the other one, I don't know if I can get to from here. Let's see. At OG Turbo World. Be interesting to see if I can find it. Oh, we did. There it is. Cool. And there's my other channel. And then my playlists. His video should be up here in the playlists that I just added. There it is, right there. My videos. Why is that in my videos? It's supposed to be in videos I like. Oh, let's try this again. Okay, save to playlist. Whoa. Not now. Save to playlist. Videos I like. Okay. Why is it in my video? Do y'all see what I'm seeing here? Like, what? Bro. What in the world? I didn't do it wrong, though. So now I have to take it out of the playlist. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Hey, before we get into this, I need you to do something right now. Bookmark this.
All right. See if it works this time. Hey, it worked this time. Videos I like. And there it is. Right at the top. Yep. Is that the only one in there? Oh. It is the only one in there. My disclaimer has all the rest of my videos. Oh. That's weird. That's not supposed to be in there. How strange. That one saved to the wrong one too. Okay. Huh. Let's try this again. Videos I like. There we go. Okay. Now we're talking. And my disclaimer should only have... Yeah. Okay. Why is that still there? Take that out. Remove from my disclaimer. There we go. There we go. Okay. We're good now. I think so. I think so. No views. Who has instant power in America? How about that? No views.